Hey guys, so yesterday would have been my 11th 14er. I did, let's see, 8 in 2018. I did 2 last year, and I was like, I can't leave Colorado this summer without at least doing one, right? I don't have summit fever. I'm not like out just to bag peaks to bag them. Like, I genuinely enjoy the challenge and the beauty. It's when you're up at 14,000 feet, looking down at the world, knowing that you climbed up there yourself is a pretty cool feeling. And it's just extraordinary. You know, it's like I always feel closest to God when I'm on a mountaintop. So anyway, I chose Huron, Mount Huron, because it was supposed to be a very spectacularly beautiful 14er. So I was doing some research on which route I would choose. There's a standard route that goes up. I think it's called like the north route, and then there is another route that goes through Lulu Gulch. And I read about both of them. I read trail reports, and I ended up choosing to go, surprise, surprise, the non-standard route through Lulu Gulch. And my reason for doing that was, well, there were a couple reasons. I wanted to bring both dogs with me, so I knew that I would have to be able to have Lola off leash for most of it, because it would be really hard to manage 2 dogs on leashes. And Lulu Gulch is a much less trafficked trail, so I figured that fewer people would get upset if I had Lola off the leash, and there'd be, you know, fewer times I'd have to call her back and stop her from like saying hello to everybody. So that was the route that I chose. So I got up early yesterday morning and was driving out to the trailhead, and it was pretty far out. I lost cell signal pretty early in the drive out, and then of course had no signal the whole day, which does factor into the whole experience. So I got out there around 6:30 or so and started actually hiking maybe like a quarter till 7. It was a later start than I wanted, but I knew that this was going to be about 10 or 11 miles round trip, and I figured I would be able to get up to the peak and off back down into the tree line by noon, which is a rule that I have always stuck to, because storms roll in quickly on a mountaintop, and you definitely don't want to be up there when lightning starts bouncing around. So I was really excited. I had my GoPro on. I was ready to document this experience so that I could share it with you guys. I had both my dogs with me, and the morning started out really nicely. And we're off. I don't know if I have enough gear on my body today. Prepared. It was a pretty trail. It didn't take long for the views to open up. I was only like down in the trees for a couple miles, and then I emerged into this opening, and right as like the sun was rising behind one of the mountains, and it was just extraordinary. Sun coming up over the mountains. Oh, look at that. One of the first things I noticed was that there's nobody out there, which is very strange. I've done, 10, 14 or so far, and there's always people. There's always, like, even on a weekday, especially like a class 1 or 2, which this was supposed to be a class 2, there's a lot of people out hiking, climbing these mountains. It's kind of a thing right now. But there was nobody. And at first I thought, well, this is really great. I have the mountain to myself. So I started up the first series of switchbacks, and it quickly became apparent to me why some people in the trail reports complained about the Lulu Gulch route. I took video of it, but unfortunately I recorded it in time lapse, so it's like really annoying to watch, but I will insert a couple of little clips so you can see, annoying as it is, the I guess just the way these switchbacks were just slid out, and there were several times where like I took a step and like rock and sand just started like sliding. Strapped to my waist because I can't trust her off leash. So with every step that I took, I needed to make sure that I could not only support myself, but also a 65-pound dog in the event that she lost her footing. So I made it up about maybe 4 of the switchbacks, and I look up and I see two hikers coming down. And I was excited. She was like, okay, there are other people out here, you know? And we crossed paths on the switchbacks and just chit-chatted for a little while, and they made the comment about how there was only one other person at the top of Huron at that point, which was, you know, again, kind of unusual, even though it was Monday, for there to really be, like, nobody out, you know?
All right, so I hope that last stuff recorded. I haven't quite mastered the GoPro. So we encountered those hikers down there. They just hiked up to Middle Mountain, and which is like a 13er. Ran out of daylight and then turned around and came back. So they didn't actually go to the top. Or maybe they did. Lucy, come on. But they're going down. So they came up this way. They're going back down this way. Said that they only saw 2 other people all day. Well, I mean, all morning at the top. Get these views. So, ready for the switchbacks to be over. I think that they almost are. I think. Nope. No. Look at that. Chipmunk. Teasing you. I know, it's rough. Come on. Nope.
So anyway, I continue up, I make it up all the switchbacks, and it opens up to a boulder field. And that's where the trail really started to get dim. I'd see it and then I'd lose it, and I'd see it and then I'd lose it. And I basically ended up I was pretty high up, probably, well, according to my GPS, I was around like 13,700 or 800 feet. So I'd gone up pretty far, and there was no trail, so I was just kind of like trying to figure it out, which was frustrating because I'm route finding with two dogs, and Lola's good, she'll just kind of follow me wherever, but Lucy, poor Lucy's strapped to me, and she's sliding everywhere, and we're in this like there's all this scree, and we're just literally like on the side of a mountain trying to negotiate a boulder field. And maybe that doesn't sound like a big deal to some people, but it was a big deal to me because I was frustrated. I didn't know if I was going in the right direction. I didn't know how much further I had to go at that point. My GPS was showing that Huron wasn't that far, but there was no path there, and I couldn't even like look at the mountains and be able to say, oh, there it is, that's Huron, that's the general direction I need to be going, so it was almost just like I'm climbing through these boulder fields, and it's slippery and rocks falling everywhere, and I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to the top. At that point, I sat down and I filmed this. Okay, just taking a minute to document this. This trail is very difficult to find. It's there and then it disappears, and then it's there and then it disappears, and this is like what we're going through. So fortunately, I have the maps downloaded, but I would be a liar if I said that I wasn't a little bit nervous about this. It's somebody out here, this is really a feeling of just being alone and vulnerable. Nobody knows where I am. The good news is, I think we're maybe about 1.5 miles from the top. I don't know where the top is, frankly. I don't even know what mountain it is. There's a lot of mountains around here. I do see a trail out that way. I bet that's it. I bet that's Huron. I think I might even see some people up there. I would feel way more comfortable if I ran into some folks. That's what I need. I need some human connection. But I'm over 3 hours in. This has been slow moving because I've had to keep stopping to route find. Lola's a pretty good route finder though. Dogs are tired. I'm getting tired. This is exhausting. So I'm gonna go a little further. Hopefully, I bet that is it. I bet that's it. Okay. Let me check in. Onward. Okay, so I decided to get it together, go a little bit further, see if I could figure it out, and I did go a little bit further. I did not figure it out. And I made the decision. It was about 10:30, so I had been hiking for over 4 hours at that point, and I didn't know how much further it was going to be to Huron. Again, I still didn't even know which mountain was Huron. And I knew I needed to stick to my rule of getting down and back into the tree line by noon. And at that point, it was going to take me at least 1.5 hours to get down. So I sat down and made the decision to bail. All right, here again. I'm bailing. This is the first time I've ever had to bail off of a mountain, but
that my GoPro died. I can't find the other battery. I know it's in my bag somewhere, but it was getting dangerous. I can't find a trail. We were just like, I don't know, just trying to figure out a path, and it was all these boulders and loose rock, and we're sliding everywhere, and I got Lucy attached to me, and it's too much. So it's 10:30. I got a lot of ridgeline to get down, so I want to hurry up and do that hopefully before noon, because I don't want to get caught in any storms. So I am disappointed. However, my instinct is telling me to turn around. It is beautiful out here, though. That's really beautiful. Get a little panoramic. I know I'm very close to 14,000 feet. That's the bummer. I'm real close to this mountaintop, but gotta be safe.
So the problem with bailing, other than the disappointment that it created, was that now I had to negotiate all of those slippery switchbacks coming back down. But what's interesting is that I really didn't mind them so much after being up on the mountain in all that scree and those boulder fields. Like, some slippery switchbacks seemed like no big deal. Like, who cares? I slide down a mountain. At least it's not boulders.
All right, we're back. I found my other battery. We're almost down the switchbacks. I'm recovering from my disappointment, but I wanted to at least get some footage of the last part of the descent, because it is pretty. Remember me saying, oh, you're in it now, you're committed now, because I didn't want to come back down those slippery switchbacks. Well, after dealing with that boulder field with no trail, I mean, it was like walking on the side of a mountain in a slippery boulder field with no trail.
So what really hit me when I was up at the mountaintop as I decided to bail, was that a feeling of vulnerability. It was a very intense feeling of being alone. You know, like, nobody knew where I was. People knew I was hiking Huron, but they didn't know I was going the Lulu Gulch route. I had no cell phone signal. And it dawned on me, because literally the only people I saw from the moment I left camp that morning until the moment I got back was those two hikers that I encountered when I was going up the switchbacks. And that's never happened before. There's always like this community and camaraderie on a 14er, and there was none of that. It was just me and the dogs and the mountain, and no cell phone signal. And I realized as I'm sliding around all these boulders, that if something happened to me, I was gonna have to figure it out. You know, if I don't know, slipped and broke my leg, what would I do? You know, lay there until somebody crosses paths with me?
It's like what I was, let's kind of give you an idea. Here, I don't know if you can see that or not. Scree and boulders is so difficult to hike in, especially when there's no freaking trail. Like, usually there's a little bit of a trail like this, not this wide, but it's at least partially cleared, so you can have some validation that you're on the right track. Lucy, stop pulling. She sees a chipmunk or something. This has been another adventure. Hey, Lucy. Quit. We are rounding our last switchback, and I am so glad. I have to say, this was the first time I felt, gosh, look at that view though. So pretty. This is the first time I felt genuinely, I'm not gonna say scared, I wasn't scared, nothing scares me. But nervous. Come here, Lola. Come here. You're too far. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Man, this is steep. No wonder I was out of breath coming up this. Lucy, come on. Let's see. Come on. Let's go. Pick a side. Pick a side. Any side. Dang. Oops. I busted my ass twice, by the way. Fell twice. Okay, I need to use my trekking pole, so you need to get like either in front of me or behind me, Lucy. Anyways, as I was saying. Oh my God.
So it was an interesting experience. It was the most unnerving hike I've done. But looking back, it was also like, I'm glad I had that experience of just real vulnerability. You know, there's something, how do I put this? There's something really unnerving, but also really beautiful about being in a situation where it's just you and God and nature. You know, I couldn't see or hear anything human at all from there. And that experience in itself is exquisite. And if you haven't ever experienced that sense of solitude and connection with just, you know, the beauty of nature, I suggest you seek that out, because it's an experience everyone should have.
So looks like I'm going to leave Colorado this summer without any 14ers. There's always next year. No, go around. You're not tangling me up again. But I would have been irritated with myself if I didn't at least attempt one. Lucy. Oh my God. Pick a freaking side. Pick a side. Thank you. Seriously. I know. Just stop. You're like drunk dog. See? No. Hold on. I'm gonna hold your leash. Now if I fall, because I can't use my trekking poles and hold your leash at the same time, it's your fault. And I need you to know that. I need you to own it. Take responsibility.
So anyway, I got down back to the tree line. It was just a couple minutes before noon, and shortly thereafter, a storm rolled in and started pummeling the peaks. I still am not sure which one was Huron, but it was kind of covering a bunch of them. So I am glad, of course, that I listened to my instinct, bailed on the mountain, because I would have been up there for that storm.
Okay.
So.
Now I'm actually super glad I bailed. It was just a big clap of lightning and thunder. It's noon, I would have still been up there. But now I'm in the tree line, so it's a lot to say, listening to your instincts. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here before it starts
All
raining.
in all, it was success. I didn't get hurt. It was a beautiful experience. The scenery was just incredible, and I got some excellent footage. So there's nothing lost. There's nothing lost. I would do it again. I'm thinking about doing it again. Perhaps going the standard route this time. I'll say this, I will, in the future, I will take trail reports a little more seriously. I read a lot, a lot of people talked about how the route finding was a big pain, how the trail, kept disappearing, and I was like, oh, it'll be fine, I've got my GPS, I've got the maps downloaded on my phone, which I did, but when you're up there, there's this vastness, I'm following this map and this little red line and trying to stay on the red line, watching my little blue dot move. Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is that my little dot is not going to be honed in like that precisely, and maybe 10 feet this way could be totally dangerous and 10 feet that way could be the actual route, and you can't really tell that with these maps. And since there's no freaking route, there was no trail to be detected up there, I was just winging it. And at one point I actually thought about going up to the ridge line so that I wouldn't be on the slope of this mountain, which was so difficult to navigate with all of the boulders and the scree. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. But the thing is, I didn't know what the ridge line looked like. I didn't know was it a sheer drop off on the other side of the ridge line? At that point, it just is it's just a guessing game. So, that's that. I have closure. It's all good, I'm excited to share this footage, that you're about to see.
Ew. Walking uphill. What's up with that? Well, there it is. You won this time. You can see the switchbacks. I wonder if you can see that on the camera. Pretty crazy. I was all the way up at the top there. So it had a downhill, I think, to the saddle. And then maybe Huron is that guy. I don't know. I'm letting it go. Eventually. I think you know what I could go for that I don't have any of? Do you know, Lucy? Beer. I could go for beer. Or like a shishi beer, like a cider. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be so good right now. Okay, seriously, where does this dog get her energy? She's like super dog. Lola, you're super dog. It's gonna be your new name. Doing good, Lucy. Staying on the right side. Right, directionally speaking, not in terms of correctness. All right, so I've been rambling to my GoPro, but GoPro gives you the view of what I'm walking through, not me. I gotta forgive my complexion. This fear broke out today. Thank you, period. I got like probably 20 rocks in my boots, but I don't want to stop and take them out. and just let every step be excruciating. No big deal. No big deal. Am I being dramatic? I feel like I'm being a little dramatic. That is life, and life is not always fair. Anyways, I'm going to get off of here now because my shoulder hurts from holding the phone. GoPro's still running though, so you guys will get to continue seeing this beautiful hike down. All right, that's it. Bye.